This is Monty once again. I'll be back at it again. Today is a little bit gloomy, but still nice. The birds are out chirping. It's a little bit cooler than usual, that's for sure. But still, it's going to be, I think it's going to be a nice day. I'm going to head for the gym. Finally, I haven't been into the gym for a while now. I've been on vacation. I went on vacation for about a week, and unfortunately, I've been spending a little bit more time recuperating and getting things organized and put back in place or whatever, getting reoriented, preparing for the next trip. That's what it's all about in the Bitcoin space, right? You use your Bitcoin profits and financial independence and sovereignty, and you do what you want to do as compared to doing what you have to do. So that's where we are with the Bitcoiners. The people in the fiat currency space are probably experiencing a little bit different scenario in terms of struggling and trying to make ends meet and all of that. Excuse the noise. But we'll get to that later on in the podcast. As a matter of fact, I got a particular article and podcast that I want to disseminate to the people who are struggling in the fiat space with retirement, particularly. Retirement and savings and investment is a major issue when you got a fiat currency that's lost 90% of its value and you haven't quite caught on to what you're up against. That makes life indeed more difficult for you. So anyway, we'll get to that in a moment. It looks like everybody's talking about the elections, and the midterm elections have finally been finalized for the most part. And I guess the good news is the Democrats have the House, definitely, and a lot of women, lo and behold, are going to be in position to get things done. And I'm really, really excited about the idea that a lot of the men have gotten thrown out and replaced by women who, in my opinion, or in my belief, I think they're going to be more open-minded to getting things done. So I can see a situation where most of the women are getting together, putting their heads together, taking a look at the problems, and just focusing on getting things done as compared to the men. The men, they get full of testosterone and the chauvinistic attitudes, and machoism gets in the way, and they forget why they're there in the first place. So I think a lot of that is going to come to a head, and we're going to finally get a chance to hopefully get the business of the nation addressed and get things done. And I think it's going to get done by the women. It looks like on the Democratic side, we have a lot of women going to Washington. A lot of women in governor and mayor positions. Hopefully the one in Georgia, Stacey Abrams, we don't know how that's going to turn out, but hopefully she'll get a chance to actually get that recount going, and we'll see what happens there. Keep my fingers crossed. But overall, I'm excited. Usually, I'll give you guys a bit of insight investor information. Usually, when you have a house divided, so to speak, whereby the Senate is one political party or persuasion, and the House is another political party or persuasion, usually that means there's massive gridlock going on. No one is able to get a whole lot of their own agenda done on either side, which is usually better. Sometimes, I guess it goes along with the reasoning or the idea that when the boss leaves the workplace or goes on a vacation or a trip or something, that's when things get done in the office. I don't know if you guys can relate to that or not, but usually when the boss is not standing there picking over your shoulder, second-guessing you every day, that's when the office actually is more productive and more efficient. And I wouldn't doubt it if it's the same thing in Washington, when neither side has the upper hand, the Republicans or the Democrats. You have massive gridlock in Washington, and usually the business of the nation at least knows that they're not going to be interfering with every single thing that takes place. It's unfortunate, but that's where it usually is. Wall Street usually is more happy knowing that at least understanding what what's where there are not going to be any surprises. So anyway, we'll see what happens. But this must be a massive ego hit to Donald Trump, considering that the nation, his approval rating was already below 50% most of the time. When you have a nation of 350 million people approximately, and most of them don't like you, and then that manifests itself in the results of the midterms by having the entire House turn towards the Democrats. That means most people are totally dissatisfied with your performance, and they're deciding that at least one of these particular areas of government is going to be a different party persuasion. Anyway, my name is Monty Henry, owner of DPL Surveillance Equipment. We're a full-service surveillance and security equipment company. We have lifetime guarantees and warranties on all the products, 24/7, 365 tech sales and customer support. We have the largest inventory of items that not only can you buy, but you can rent and lay away as well. And we have the largest media library, bar none. We have the lot of new entries in the cybersecurity categories and the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency categories. The articles and the podcasts and the blogs and the demonstration videos, they all have these categories. So look under cybersecurity, look under health and fitness, economics and finance, again, surveillance and counter-surveillance, what did I say, health and fitness, economics and finance, anti-terrorism and terrorism products, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are also covered in the media library. So anyway, check them all out. Getting a lot of interesting responses and comments from people regarding cameras for cows. There's an article called Cameras for Cows that I think is kind of interesting. That seems to be very, very popular. And I'm uploading new information every single day, pretty much. At least one or two new articles a day, and podcasts as well. So go there and check it out. It's all free and educational, in my opinion. We accept Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in our shopping cart. We do accept Bitcoin specifically, Litecoin, Ethereum, and Bcash in our shopping cart. So you're crypto millionaires. We know you're not struggling as much as those in the fiat space. So you may want to spend some of that cryptocurrency wealth with us if you don't mind. And you will get your favorite spy gadgets. They will be lifetime guaranteed warranty, law enforcement grade, state-of-the-art. They're backed up by our 24/7, 365 customer sales support, tech support, policies. What else? Oh yeah, the shopping cart is the whole website rather is completely redesigned. It's I think we're perfectly situated for the next 5 years, at least maybe 10. So we won't have to worry about that for a while. But we're constantly upgrading and updating things just in case. We've added a ton of new products, probably more new products than most people know what to do with, in addition to the used products. And we always want to poke a finger in the eye of the MasterCards and the Visas and American Express companies, merchant processors, credit card issuers. We want to make you guys aware of the fact that the HSBCs of the world, the UBS, the Wells Fargo, the Citibanks, and the J.P. Morgan Chases, Morgan Stanleys, all of these thieves and crooks with suits on, they're getting away with murder. Make sure you guys understand what you're up against, because when we cover this topic, and I'll get to it in a second, regarding retirement and savings and such, a lot of times what happens is you guys are struggling and you're putting in a lot of effort, you're putting a lot of time, honestly, but the system is working against you. What the central bankers and the Federal Reserve and the system itself is working against you. Okay, it robs you of your future wealth, and you need to understand that, and how the dynamics work and how the math works. When someone is charging you compounding interest on a credit card, for instance, that means that they have the upper hand. If you're getting compounded interest on your investment, your retirement savings or something, that means you have the advantage. Okay, so just make sure you understand that. Let's take a look at the article and see if we can put this stuff into perspective, maybe to be a little bit more clear, okay? Let's see here. The name of this article is 3 Steps to Take If You're Behind in Retirement Savings. Again, 3 steps to take if you're behind in your retirement savings. Too many savers are chasing their retirement dreams in the wrong way. A recent Allianz Life study found that nearly half of individuals between the ages of 45 and 65 surveyed considered themselves to be retirement chasers. These are defined as people who are saving for retirement but have either fallen behind on where they should be, wish they could accumulate savings faster, or worry that if they don't increase savings soon, it will be too late to have a comfortable retirement. I think the birds flying overhead, the seagulls, agree with that, definitely. Okay, that last part again, let me repeat it. They worry that if they don't increase savings soon, it will be too late to have a comfortable retirement. So what action should you take if you're in the retirement chasing crowd? Here are 3 moves I often suggest. Start using the 20-30-50 rule. I have found that most families who are behind on their retirement savings tend to use a save after expenses mentality when it comes to budgeting. That is, they put their money into retirement savings after they have paid their bills, spent on necessities, and maybe even some luxuries. The problem with this is that without implementing a weekly or monthly savings plan with the money coming off the top, cash flow will undoubtedly always vaporize at the bottom. The 20-30-50 rule will help chasers by having them take 20% off the top for savings, retirement and other savings, 30% for variable expenses, 50% for fixed expenses. What you'll need to determine initially is whether you have truly have a budgeting issue or if you have too large of a fixed lifestyle for your current income. So again, some of you just have a lifestyle problem. you have champagne taste, as they call it, but a beer budget. So make sure that you understand whether or not you need to make some lifestyle changes first, because if you are constantly spending more money on things that you really can't afford as far as your ability to keep money, put money into savings and retirement, then you're living beyond your means, really. So make sure you make your lifestyle adjustments first, and then you'll probably notice that you're going to be freeing up more money for savings and retirement. Let's see. Where else are we? Okay. Take advantage of all the free dollars you can get. Yes, you heard it over and over that the employer match on a 401k plan is free money. But you would be surprised by how many retirement chasers initially don't do this. Sometimes it's because people start by setting aside what they can afford. As their salary increases, however, they fail to up their 401k contributions to meet the matched threshold. That additional 1% or 2% you add to get the full match will make a big difference over time, especially with compounding. If your employer offers a health savings account, consider signing up for one this open enrollment season. And some employers make contributions to HSAs, again, free money. The maximum HSA contribution for 2019 is $3,500 for self-only coverage and $7,000 for family coverage. There's a catch-up contribution of $1,000 for people who will be 55 or older on December 31st, 2019. You are saving pre-tax for qualified medical expenses, but the bonus is that money you don't use carries over and grows over time. And it's portable. If you change employers, this is essentially another retirement saving vehicle, one that could come in handy for future medical expenses. I also use this myself, so make sure you guys understand. HSA is a no-brainer. It's a medical savings account, and you put your own contributions, your own money into it, and when you have certain expenses, They could be related to going to a health food store. A lot of health food stores actually they will take those debit cards or credit cards for linked to the HSA account, and we get tax deductible benefits of using those cards in those stores. So there's a lot of flexibility as far as using those cards are concerned. If you like to use supplements, and if you're like a homeopathic or all natural, you believe in holistic medicine and all of that, make sure you understand that you can get a lot of those items from your health food store, and you can purchase it with that account. You might also be able to use it for veterinary bills for your pet at home when you go to your vet. So try it first and see what happens. One note: HSAs work with high deductible health plans, so be sure that this is the right plan for you, giving your and your family members medical conditions and typical medical expenses. Rethink your risk tolerance. Chasers by nature are not investment risk takers, so you need to balance your appetite for loss relative to the risk for gaining the necessary return so you can retire on time. There are 4 options if you are behind on your retirement goals. You can reduce the goal, extend the time frame, save more money, or increase your rate of return. One option may be to consider buying equities that pay you a dividend. So that's the end of that article. I just want to throw in there that I was able to maximize my contributions to my own retirement accounts, 401ks, self-directed IRAs, etc., by aggressively putting money away and aggressively cutting back on the amount of money that I was spending on a daily basis, and that freed up a lot of money to go into retirement. And when I was younger, this is what I did. I made those contributions early on and made the sacrifices, the compromises early on. And that way, as I got older, I didn't have to stress. I didn't have to worry about the same things my peers were worrying about when on the job, for instance, when companies would lay people off and make these crazy announcements about we don't need this many people, we're going to lay off, cut back, and all this stuff, staff reductions, redundancies, whatever word they want to use. The bottom line is a lot of people became stressed out because they were not in a position to make that transition easier for themselves because they hadn't prepared financially. So make sure you guys understand that going forward, you want to have the financial cushion. You want to have something to fall back on. Your emergency funds, your retirement money, all of these HSA, all of these accounts and things that you build up will definitely make life less stressful for you. And then another thing they didn't include in the article, which I will include for you, is that the dollar has been devalued significantly. And this is what no one is telling you, and no one's going to tell you, that pretty much you're going to be up against it, because if you have a currency like a dollar with 90% of its value completely gone, vaporized already, you're going to work very hard. So make sure you understand that Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and some of these things, you're going to want to take a look at. You don't have to get too aggressive like I did, but I just either got lucky or just make good decisions with good timing or something. But 5 or 10% of your salary probably should be dedicated to going into that space. Bitcoin is the blue chip, so you start there with 5 or 10% of that, hopefully. And if you make significant gains, or if you have some money left over after that, you can diversify within the cryptocurrency space. You can take a look at Ethereum, take a look at Litecoin, take a look at Bcash, take a look at, you name it, whichever ones you think after that. But there's the blue chip, which is the Bitcoin, then of course the Litecoin, the Bcash, and the Ethereum, and Neos, and the BitShares, and some of the others are definitely going to help you diversify your portfolio in cryptocurrency. So basically, you should have a little portfolio in cryptocurrencies. If you don't, you're just shooting yourself in the foot, because when you hear about Fidelity offering services in the cryptocurrency space, when you hear Morgan Stanley and J.P. Morgan Chase, New York Stock Exchange, ICE, all of these corporations, they're not stupid. They've been doing money management and investing for a long, long time. BlackRock and Fidelity, they have a combined total of, who knows, somewhere between $7 and $14 trillion under management. So they know a little bit about money management and investing in risk. So you want to join the wealthy people, join the smart money, and that way you can benefit like everyone else is benefiting who actually have a lot of money, a lot of risk, and a lot of experience in this space as far as making money and investing is concerned. So join the winners and dump the losers, and hopefully you'll make a transition and have a better retirement and a better future for yourself and your family.